Hello, my name's Christopher, and today I'm going to show you how to install Mailpit on Cosmos Cloud. So a little bit about this series, I'm going over home labs, installing things, getting things set up, everything like that. So if you're interested in that, subscribe, comment, like, and support the channel, and let's get started. I wanted to let y'all know about the Big Bear community. We just launched a community on community.bigbeartechworld.com. It's based on discourse, so go on there, join it, and say hi. So let's get back to your registered programming. So this is Mailpit. It's an email and SMTP, a testing tool. And if you have a local app that it needs an email server, an SMTP server, then you can just put this SMTP server on it, and then you'll have a UI to where you can look at all the email that goes to it. It's pretty neat. And here's the UI. And here's some features. So, and it does have a GitHub that you can look at and see the development of it. So now I'm going to start on Big Bear Video Assets. There will be a link down in the YouTube description to get to this. I'm going to scroll down to how to install Mailpit on Cosmos Cloud. And then I'm going to go into Docker Compose. So version 3 of Docker Compose is being used. I'm going to set some services, and then the service underneath the service is called app. And then the image is coming from Docker Hub because there's no URL before this. The Docker image, and then the Docker image tag. And then the container names, Mailpit. The restart policy is unless stopped. So if you stop it for any reason, it will not try to restart. But if it fails or any other reason, then it will try to restart. I'm going to set some volumes. So Mailpit data right here is a local volume, and it's using the local driver. And on the container side is data. So host and then data and then container. So environment variables are time zone, and I would set this to your time zone. And then ports are 8025 is on the host side, and 8025 is on the container side. Now this is the UI port, and this is the SMTP port. So on the left is the host side, and on the right is the container side. So 1025 and 1025. So, and now it's setting the volume down here. So I'm going to go up here to copy raw file, and then I'm going to go over to my Cosmos Cloud and get it installed. So I wanted to let you know about the Big Bear Club. You can join it, and it greatly supports this channel, and I very much appreciate it. So if you'd like to join the Big Bear Club, you can go down the YouTube description and go to my Ko-Fi link and join it from there. So let's get back to registered programming. So now I'm going to start on my Cosmos Cloud. I'm going to go to Serve Apps and then Import Compose File. And then I'm going to paste in the Docker Compose. And now I'm going to press Next. Now it'll give you a JSON object. I'm going to create. And it's done. And it's up and running. So now on the Cosmos Cloud app right here, so you see that this port is exposed. 1025 is going to stay that way, and 8025 we're going to create a proxy URL to proxy into the container, so the 8025 is not directly exposed and we have more control over the traffic. So I'm going to go to URLs new, and then 8025 is the container port that we want, and it looks good. So 7200. So for the web UI on this one, we'll go to this right here in 7200. And I'm going to confirm, refresh the page, and now we have the proxy URL up. So now we're going to go into the URL options right here, this cog. And then you can see information like the monitoring, the success time, the target. You can go over to setup. You can change some information. You can change the proxy of the mode. So, and then you can change the container name that this proxy directs to, the use host, the port that it's going to be listening on, and the path prefix, authentication required, smart shield protection, restrict access to Constellation VPN, and some more options. You can see security options now, so you can turn on authentication required, admin only, forward IP, and host headers to target, disable header hardening, smart shield protection, and the timeouts and limits, and block common bots recommended, and block requests from or without referee header. So as you can see, when you have the proxy on, you have more control over the traffic, like I was saying. You also have a monitoring tab over here. You can see the requests that are coming in, and you can see the resources. So you can see hourly and daily and the latest. You can see events of what the proxy has done. So proxy response, Mailpit success. So you can export this. You can change the debug, info, success, warning, important, and error. You can change the event times from and to. So that's a pretty neat feature. So that's a little bit about the URL options. So now I'm going to go over the container options. So you can check for updates. You can pause the container, stop the container, restart, recreate, and kill. You can isolate the container network. You can auto update the container. You can create new URLs like we just did. You can see the RAM and CPU usage of the container. You can go down here to details, and you can have more options, and you can see more options, and you can see more info. So image, ID, IP address for Docker, and then health, the same options, and then the monitoring. You can go into logs and see the logs for the container, which is great for debugging. You can see that it's listed on 1025 for the SMTP and 8025 for the server, the web UI. You can go into monitoring, and you can see the resources and then the network. Really neat. You can see hourly, daily, and then the latest. You can see events that happen with the container, and you can see a terminal, and then you can see the Docker container setup. So the environment variables, the labels, the restart policy, the image that's being used, interactive mode, and then update the container. You can see the networks. So I'm going to take off that one. Then there we go. So it's not exposed. And then now you can see the storage. So a volume is being used, a Mailpit data, and then the target. So this is the host, and this is the target, the container. And you can switch between binds and volumes. So that's a little bit about the container options. So I'm going to start on Big Bear scripts. There will be a link down in the YouTube description to get to this. I'm going to scroll down to test SMTP connection. And then I'm going to go into run.sh. So it's going to set some default values up here: the SMTP server, the SMTP port, the sender, the recipient, the subject, the message. And then it's going to ask the users for those variables. And if the user doesn't supply an value, then it'll go with these. So it's going to ask, and then it's going to go with the default one, if not a given. Then it's going to come down here, put that all together, and then send the email with telnet to the SMTP server and the SMTP port. So, and then now I'm going to go over to test SMTP connection, and then I'm going to copy the script down here, and I'm going to go over to my terminal and run it. So in my terminal, I'm going to paste in the command. You can use any terminal you want that has access to the server. So I'm going to run it, and then now it's going to ask for the SMTP server. So I'm going to give the IP address of the Cosmos cloud. And then now I'm going to return or enter. I'm going to send it to 1025 because that's the SMTP port that we'll be listing. So now I'm going to go through this and go with the defaults by return or enter. And then now it's ready to go. So I'm going to run it again. So now it's going through. Okay. And okay. Now it's sent. So we should have the email in the Mailpit. So now on the going to the web UI, so you'll have the URL down here, so you can go through it from here. You can also go through it from here, and you can also go in the home here and go through it from here. So we have the web UI up and running, so you can search the mailbox here. You can mark all as read, and then there you go. You can delete all the messages. You can enable alerts. You can also set the light mode, dark mode, and the auto. You can switch between the pages right here. You can set how many emails you want on one page. So now you can go in an email. You can see the HTML, the HTML source, the text, the headers, the raw. You can mark as unread. You can delete the message. You can see info on the message like the size, the message date. You can download the message, so raw message, HTML body, text body. And then now you can see it in mobile, the iPad, and desktop. So that's a little bit about Mailpit. So I'll walk you through step by step on getting Mailpit running on Cosmos Cloud. So if you like this tutorial, subscribe, comment, like, and support the channel. And if you have any video suggestions or you need community support, you can go down to the Big Bear community and join our forum. There's a link in the YouTube description, so stay tuned for more.